friend, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a pretty hearty roundup of makeup items that I have finished off that I wanted to chat with you about. We got a lot of mascaras, some complexion products, some like boring items. So let's go ahead and dive in. We'll go with the biggest category, which tends to always be mascara. I have 3 sample mascaras to share with you. The 3 that I have all come from the same. I'm a big sucker for the Sephora. I don't know if it's called Sephora favorites, but essentially the sample favorites that they sell where after trying them all out, you can cash it in for a full size. And with this other one, I had a bunch of mascaras that I'd never tried before that I was like, oh, let me go ahead and go all in. The one that I had used was the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. That's partly why I decided to go with it. I tend to find strategy-wise that at least if there is one mascara in there that I know I like, that I've tried before, I tend to be willing to purchase it because I'm like, well, if nothing else, I'll at least get that one that I know and love versus a crapshoot of not liking any of them. This did give me a run for my money in choosing because I really do like it. It's been a while since I've had it. This is what the wand looks like. I really appreciate how this basically provides clump or body to my lashes and keeps them a little bit lengthened and separated. It checks off all of my boxes. I'm somebody who has pretty easygoing lashes. Like I don't curl them. I just apply a base and apply my other mascara to it and call it quits. This stuff is great. And I will say I almost went with this one, but I ended up going with something different. So I think for me, it's one of those ones where I'm like, I know I can get it for like $10 during the Ulta 10 Days of Beauty, or when Sephora also competes, does the same thing. So it's like, I know I can get this one for next to nothing. So I'll save my coupon for another one, which as I'm sitting here right now, I can't tell you which one I picked, but I know it wasn't this one, though this one was lovely and I do like it. On the flip side, I have the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. This is not a new mascara by any means, but I've never tried it. And I just don't think I'm a big Benefit mascara fan, surprisingly. This is what the wand looks like. It's one of those rubber wands where you have the spikes getting a little bit longer the further out from the tip you get. I just found that this was like a wet formula that didn't do a whole lot to my lashes. It kind of just like separated them and coated them and just didn't give them a whole lot to enhance them. So it just wasn't really my jam, wouldn't necessarily recommend it, and didn't cash in my coupon for it. And the last one that I have, I actively dislike. It is my Huda Beauty Legit Lashes. You have 2 sides to it. The first side is this slightly curved, spiky rubber wand that looks like this. And then the other side, this reminds me of the MAC mascara that came out last year. No, this flaked on me. I tried using just one side, then the other. Either way, it flaked. It was just sort of a nuisance to work with. And I came in wanting to really like it because I was like, oh, this could be, instead of using a base, I could just use both sides of this. It would be really nice to have this nice effect of it. No, it did not work. I do not like this. Would not recommend. Did not cash in my coupon for this. Then I have 3 full-size mascaras. I have this Double Trouble mascara from Essence. Here's where I stand with Essence mascaras. I seem to only really like their Lash Princess line. Every other mascara I just don't jive with. This is unique, I'll give them that. You have 2 very different sides to the wand, and they say that one side is for definition and one side is for volume, which I like the idea of because you basically can kind of get your lashes clumpy and then kind of keep them separate. But that's a lot of work. Like it's a lot of work to use this mascara, and I didn't feel like the effect was so amazing that I was like, yes, this is worth the extra effort. Give me more. False. I think their Lash Princess is the best and it doesn't require much of any effort. So I will go with that in the future and not this. And I think I'm going to be hard pressed in the future to try an Essence mascara that does not come from their Lash Princess line. I also have Rest in Peace, this mascara from Makeup Geek. It's the Extension Effect Mascara. This was actually a really nice mascara. This is what the wand looks like. It's a really subtle hourglass wand. And it just did it for me. It had the right level of like dryness and wetness. It was easy to apply. It didn't make my lashes too gunky. Like it checked off all the boxes. I have to say, everything I used from Makeup Geek, since they're no longer in business, I always liked, but I felt like the price point was just it was like a little high for what I was willing to pay, but I did like the products that came out of that line, and this was no exception. I did buy this when they were going out of business. And the last one I have, I've had it a few times. It's the L'Oreal Air Volume Mega Mascara. This, I think is in the shade brown. I could be wrong. I've had this a few times. This is just an okay mascara. It doesn't necessarily excite me a whole lot. The wand is just fine. This was my brown mascara. I tend to always have one brown mascara for days where I want to do like a brown liner and lash look, because that does go nicely with my complexion. But I've had this a few times. It was really easy to coupon for a while, which is why I got it. Anytime a drugstore releases a new mascara, like a drugstore line, it tends to go on sale at CVS and then have a manufacturer's coupon, so I can get them pretty regularly for next to nothing. But I don't necessarily say that this was amazing. I have to have more. I only have it because of couponing. So that's where we stand. Ooh, let's talk liners. I have two liners that I have finished off. I have from the old pre-rebranded House Laboratories limited edition liquid eyeliner, matter than matte liquid eyeliner in La Vida Punk. This was a collaboration that they did when Lady Gaga was in the, I think was it Versace video or Louis Vuitton, I can't remember, but whatever Italian fashion movie she was in. I love this liner. I was very, very sad about them rebranding and getting rid of all their stuff. So when they clearance stuff out, I purchased a couple of these. I like this for so many reasons. The tip is perfect for having flexibility and firmness, that I'm able to like very easily just like do a quick like wing, pull it over. It's also, no lies, a lot of words, but it truly is a matte, long-lasting eyeliner, like just fabulous. They have not since come out, from what I can see on their collection, like with their new clean focus, that they have not come out with a new version of this, but it's lovely. However, by chance, I found a dupe, and that is this. This is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Lash Enhancing Liquid Eyeliner. Look. Let me pull them both side by side. Ha ha ha. Look at that. They are basically the exact same shape. They are very similar in their flexibility. The only thing I will say, two things, is that this does not last me as long as this one does. I don't know if they have the same amount of product. Yeah, it does not say how much is in this. It says 0.03 fluid ounces. And this is like a little bit like a hair darker, matter, like ease of which of like looking at color for opacity, but this is great. I have since purchased this in their black that they recently came out with. It's lovely. So once my second one of these is used up, I'll probably move just to this unless they release this, and I'll probably try it just because I'll be curious. But good to know I found a drugstore equivalent and it's a fraction of the price, which is lovely. Ooh, I have a lip product that I've used up. It's a beautiful lip balm. This I got from a Face Story box. It's the, or maybe it was a ZC, I can't quite remember, but it was the Sandois Camella Healing Lip Balm. I just love it for the packaging. I'm a sucker for a twist up lip balm like this. I just love it. It's very satisfying, but also texturally, this was so pleasant on my lips. It had like a little bit of a slippy feeling, but it wasn't ridiculous, and it made my lips feel nice and moisturized. I am sad this is gone. It was a very nice lip balm. We'll do a couple more boring ones. I used up my Q-Tips Precision Tips. I use these to clean up my under eye area after I'm done applying my mascara and eyeshadow and all of that business. The point on these is great, not too hard, just hard to come across, and also very nice for precision. So I keep buying these off of Amazon. That's the best place that I can find them. I get them in like packs of 3. Then I have good old faithful, the e.l.f. Daily Brush Cleaner. This stuff is great. I spritz my brushes at the end of every makeup application just to kind of get the color off of them and keep them nice and clean. I think it has made a difference longevity-wise with my actual makeup brushes. Ooh, and a sponge. I've used up this ColourPop silicone core sponge. This to me is great because I don't find that it absorbs too much of my actual foundation that I'm applying. And I attest that to the silicone in the middle, not allowing the sponge to be as absorbent, but this stuff is great. This is a nice sponge for a decent price point. I have a bunch of sponges that I'm gonna keep using that I just have amassed in my collection, so not looking to rebuy anytime soon, but I do think I have 2 or 3 of these to use in the meantime. Ooh, and then last, like boring one, is this JOA Crystal Glow Refreshing Luminizer Skin Mist. Ooh, this is pleasant. This JOA product I bought because I was couponing and it was, I don't know, like next to nothing. The sprayer on this, oh my gosh, it is such a nice, fine mist. I really appreciated that. I am missing that right now in my makeup routine because the one that I have right now, the sprayer is not as gentle and nice. I gotta be like real gentle about it. But this, like, just like a nice misting. It does have a distinctive rose scent, but once it dried down, I couldn't smell it. I would definitely buy this again. I'm not in the market right now for this type of like refreshing or moisturizing or like this type of mist. I already have one going, but once that one's gone, I'll definitely rebuy this one. All right, I've got some samples that I've used up. I have a bunch of complexion samples and I have to be in like the right mood to want to use them because it's always like a rolling of the dice, like how well is it gonna go? Plus, rare is the color match good for me. So the first one that I have is the RMS Re-Evolve Natural Finish Foundation. I used this shade, which is 00, so I imagine it's the lightest shade in their lineup, and it's too dark for me. So I did have to mix it with my white mixing medium to help lighten it. Here's what I'll say. They describe this as a natural finish. I do not. This to me feels very much like a medium to full coverage foundation, at least by my standard. And what I mean by that is I feel like you looked at me and you were like, ooh, girl has on a complexion product. Like she has foundation on her face. It didn't necessarily look bad, but I feel like it was very like it covered all of my blemishes. It covered all of my freckles where you couldn't really see anything. Like it made me a blank canvas, which is not my normal MO. Not a bad thing, but wouldn't buy it. Doesn't really jive with my preferences. I do have, I think a second one of this. I'll probably use it, but I'm not gonna go out and buy it. And then I have the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Nude Glow. This I had in the Fair Ivory, which was like a hair too dark for me. They do have one more color, which is Fair Porcelain. I didn't realize they had so many shades of this. I actually really like this. I don't think I would be opposed to owning this, but I have a real abundance of complexion foundation products that I need to get used up. So I think once I use maybe a couple of those, if this is still on my mind, I probably would buy it because I did like it. And then my last sample is the Benefit Hoola. It's the matte bronzer card. I remember the time when this was the bee's knees. Everyone had to have it. It was the best. And I always felt like it was a little too like orangey or dark for me. This time around, I didn't feel that way. I feel like I probably would still go with the Hoola Light, which I think is like a hair cooler or lower than this, but it wasn't terrible and I did forget how much I like it. I have to say for Benefit, I really do like their powder products. Case in point, I have a blush that I used up from them. It's a real old blush that I never thought would take me so long to use, but it's the Benefit Dandelion. I don't know how I acquired this, maybe in an Ipsy bag 8,000 years ago, but oh yeah, this was a lovely, easy kind of blush for me to use. Like it was one of those blushes where it didn't matter necessarily what kind of eye look I was using. This just was good for that. I'm not even sure they still make this, and I'm probably, even if they do, I probably wouldn't buy it because I have other blushes that I can use, but it was very satisfying to use up this entire thing, and it took me years to do so. So very rewarding. And then my last item that I finished off is from MAC. It is my Painterly Pro Longwear Paint Pot. Oh yeah, look at how satisfying that is. Oh yes, indeed. This is what I've been using, I think coming close to 2 years as my eyeshadow base to just sort of help neutralize my lid and give me a nice base to play with. This stuff is pricey, but the price per use in like the grand scheme of things is so low that I will rebuy it. I've actually already repurchased it. It's great. I have not found a drugstore equivalent for this matte bone color. I have found like shimmers, other things, but I don't like it as much, so I don't mind paying a little bit extra for this because I, again, get so many uses out of it. So no big deal for me. All right, so there you have it. Those are all of the items that I have recently finished off, which feels awesome. I don't normally have this many beauty makeup items that I have finished off in my collection, but it feels really nice to have all that satisfaction, all that money used up. As always, I appreciate you tuning in, and I will catch you in my next video real soon. Bye.